Kiki the Kangaroo's Outback Adventure. In the vast Australian outback, there lived a curious and adventurous kangaroo named Joey. Joey loved to hop around the outback, exploring new places and meeting new animals. One day, as he was hopping through the grass, he saw something strange in the distance. It was a group of animals he had never seen before, and he was eager to find out more about them. With his curiosity piqued, Joey hopped closer to investigate. As the sun rose over the vast Australian outback, the curious kangaroo hopped out of its mother's pouch and stretched its legs. The little Joey was eager to explore its surroundings and learn about the world beyond its mother's watchful eye. With a burst of energy, the kangaroo bounded through the grass and over the rocks, taking in the sights and sounds of the outback. It spotted a group of emus in the distance and bounded over to investigate. As the curious kangaroo approached, the emus eyed it warily, unsure of what to make of this newcomer to their territory. But the kangaroo simply smiled and introduced itself, eager to make some new friends. As the days passed, the curious kangaroo became more and more adventurous. One day, as he was hopping through the outback, he spotted a group of animals gathered around a nearby water hole. Curious, he made his way over to investigate. As he drew closer, he could see that the animals were all different species. There were emus, wallabies, and even a family of dingoes. The kangaroo felt a little nervous, but he was also excited to make new friends. So, he hopped over to the group and introduced himself. The other animals were wary at first, but the kangaroo's friendly nature and inquisitive spirit soon won them over. They welcomed him into their circle and told him stories of their own adventures in the outback. The kangaroo was fascinated, and he felt a sense of belonging that he had never experienced before. He knew that he had found a group of friends that he would treasure forever. As the days went by, the kangaroo hopped through the outback, marveling at the sights and sounds around her. She explored vast open plains dotted with red rocks and scrubby bushes, hopped through dense forests, and crossed rushing streams. The kangaroo was filled with a sense of wonder at the natural world around her and was always eager to see what lay beyond the next hill. One day, as she was hopping along, the kangaroo spotted a group of wallabies gathered under a large gum tree. She hopped over to say hello, and they welcomed her warmly, inviting her to join them for some delicious eucalyptus leaves. As they ate, the wallabies told the kangaroo about their own adventures in the outback and shared stories of the different creatures they had encountered. The kangaroo listened intently, feeling grateful for the new friends she had made. She realized that there was so much to learn and discover in the outback, and that by sharing stories and experiences with others, she could deepen her own understanding of the world around her. With a sense of joy and contentment, the kangaroo settled in to spend the afternoon with her new friends, excited for the adventures that lay ahead. As the sun started to set, the curious kangaroo had wandered quite far from home. He had explored rocky hills, sandy deserts, and even found a small creek. But as he was about to head back, he heard a strange noise coming from a nearby bush. Curiosity piqued, the kangaroo hopped over to investigate. To his surprise, he found a little echidna stuck in the bush, its spiky body preventing it from moving. The kangaroo felt sorry for the echidna and decided to help. He carefully pushed the spines aside and freed the echidna, who was grateful for the kind gesture. In return, the echidna offered to show the kangaroo a special place he had never seen before. Intrigued, the kangaroo followed the echidna deeper into the bush, until they came upon a hidden oasis. A crystal-clear pool sparkled in the fading light, surrounded by lush greenery. The kangaroo couldn't believe his eyes. He had never seen anything like it before. The echidna explained that it was a secret spot, known only to a few animals. The kangaroo felt honored to have been shown such a beautiful place, and he promised to keep it a secret too. As the night fell, the kangaroo bid farewell to the echidna and hopped his way back home, feeling grateful for the new friend he had made and the wondrous place he had discovered. As the days passed, the kangaroo grew bolder and more curious. It ventured farther into the outback, hopping over rocks and streams, and exploring new territory. One day, as it was bounding through a field of tall grass, it heard a strange rustling noise. It stopped in its tracks, pricking its long ears and scanning the surroundings. Suddenly, a group of emus burst out of the grass and charged towards the kangaroo. The kangaroo was frightened and tried to hop away, but the emus were too fast. They caught up to the kangaroo and began pecking at its legs with their sharp beaks. The kangaroo hopped frantically, trying to shake off the attacking emus. But it was no use. Just when it thought it was about to be overwhelmed, a flock of galas flew in and began pecking at the emus. Startled, the emus scattered, and the kangaroo was able to escape. The kangaroo was grateful to the galas and thanked them for saving its life. From that day forward, the kangaroo learned to be more cautious in its adventures and to always be on the lookout for potential dangers. As the sun began to set, the kangaroo made its way back to its home in the eucalyptus grove, feeling wiser and more confident than ever before. As the kangaroo hopped through the outback, it came across a group of emus gathered around a small pool of water. They were squawking and pecking at each other, trying to get a drink from the limited supply of water. The kangaroo approached them, hoping to make some new friends. "Hello there, may I join you for a drink?" asked the kangaroo. The emus looked at the kangaroo skeptically. "What makes you think you can just waltz in here and drink from our water?" snapped one of the emus. "I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just passing through and I'm really thirsty," explained the kangaroo. The emus continued to squawk and peck at each other, ignoring the kangaroo's request. But the kangaroo didn't give up. It hopped closer to the pool and started to drink from the water. "Hey, that's our water! Get out of here!" shouted one of the emus. The kangaroo ignored them and continued to drink, but it was clear that the emus weren't happy about it. Suddenly, one of the emus lunged at the kangaroo, trying to peck it with its sharp beak. The kangaroo hopped out of the way just in time, narrowly avoiding the emu's attack. It realized that it had to think fast if it wanted to get out of this situation unharmed. Thinking quickly, the kangaroo offered to share the water with the emus. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. Please, let me make it up to you. I'll share the water with all of you," it said. The emus looked at each other, considering the kangaroo's offer. Finally, one of the emus stepped forward and took a sip from the water, followed by the others. The kangaroo hopped back a bit, allowing the emus to drink their fill. "Thank you for sharing the water with us. We were wrong to be so rude to you," said one of the emus. The kangaroo smiled. "No problem at all. I'm just glad we can all be friends now." With that, the kangaroo and the emus drank from the pool of water together, enjoying each other's company and the refreshment of the cool water. As the sun started to set, the kangaroo bid farewell to the emus and continued on its journey through the outback, feeling grateful for the new friends it had made. One day, while hopping through the outback, the kangaroo came across a group of emus. The emus were running around in a frenzy, and the kangaroo could tell that something was wrong. She hopped over to them and asked what was going on. "We're being chased by a dingo," one of the emus cried out. "He's been after us for hours, and we can't seem to shake him off." The kangaroo knew that dingoes were fierce predators and that the emus were in danger. She immediately offered to help. "Jump on my back," she said. "I'll take you somewhere safe." The emus quickly jumped onto the kangaroo's back, and she began to hop away as fast as she could. The dingo was close behind, but the kangaroo was determined to keep the emus safe. She hopped, and the dingo kept chasing them. But finally, after what seemed like hours, they reached a safe place, and the dingo gave up the chase. The emus were grateful to the kangaroo for saving them, and they thanked her profusely. The kangaroo felt happy to have helped, and she realized that being curious and adventurous was not just about having fun but also about helping others. From that day on, the kangaroo made a lot of new friends in the outback, and she continued to explore and learn new things. But she always remembered the important lesson she had learned about being kind and helpful to others. As the sun began to set over the Australian outback, the kangaroo felt a sense of contentment. It had explored new places, made new friends, and learned important lessons along the way. It knew that its adventures were far from over, but for now, it was happy to rest and reflect on all that it had experienced. As the kangaroo hopped back to its home in the bush, it looked up at the stars twinkling above and felt grateful for all the wonders of the world. It knew that there was still so much to discover and explore, and it couldn't wait to see what new adventures awaited it. And so, the curious kangaroo fell asleep, dreaming of all the exciting possibilities that lay ahead. Thank you for joining us on this adventure with the curious kangaroo. We hope you enjoyed this story and its valuable lessons about curiosity, friendship, and perseverance. Don't forget to tune in next time for more fun-filled tales.